Chloe. Welcome to Mental Health is Horrifying.
Oh my God, hi. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. And I said this in the intro, but just so everybody knows, Chloe designed my podcast logo. She designed all my branding, and it really was like the perfect mind meld of the two of our brains together, my horror Barbiness, Chloe's gothness. So just so you know, all the requests that I get for t-shirts with my logo on it, which I haven't quite gotten around to, like that's all Chloe and her beautiful mind, people. I just want everyone to know that.
It, like I said, this has been one of my favorite brands to date. There's like a handful, like all of my designs, I love them so much, but this one is like very true to my heart because my secret favorite color is pink. So your whole brand and then my brand coming together was like the best collab project ever. So it was amazing. I love it so much.
It's a secret favorite color.
Yeah, nobody knows because you would never know. Like I don't own anything that's pink besides my hydrangea, but yeah, that's it.
It's just for you.
It's just a
Yeah.
secret.
Yeah, I was so happy that you recommended Mother for this episode because, to be honest with you, I had never watched it before, and it's like totally my fault because I make a point not to pay attention to especially horror film reviews because I find that the critics, they just I don't know. I find they just don't get it right so often with horror because it is such a subjective genre. And I made the mistake of listening to the reviews about Mother that were like, it's confusing and it doesn't make any
Mhm.
sense. But when I watched it for this episode, I was like, this movie is incredible. It's so smart, it's so metaphorical. So thank you for giving me the chance to watch it.
Yeah, it was one of those movies too. Like I didn't watch it until a couple years after it came out. I all I knew from the movie itself was Jennifer Lawrence like broke her vocal cords from screaming so intense and like she was traumatized from doing this movie. And I'm like, maybe I should just check it out. So it easily became one of my favorite movies to date. And it is confusing. I had to watch it two or three times to actually understand the the story and what was happening on because there is a lot that happens in this movie and just like, oh my God, what the hell? So yeah, I would say it is a little confusing, but it's also very artful in a way.
I can sort of guess where in the movie Jennifer Lawrence might have broke
Mm-hmm.
vocal cords, and we'll talk about that scene maybe a bit later.
Yeah.
But you've gotten to this place today where you have incredible taste in horror movies and recommending this one to me. But I would love to hear about where did you start watching horror movies and what was that like for you when you were a kid?
Oh my God. So I think I was just born weird. Like if you're into the horoscope stuff, like I'm Scorpio. I have six Scorpio placements in my birth chart. Like it
Same.
is intense. Then you get it. This is why we're friends.
This is why.
Um, but yeah, even just growing up, like my parents got me into horror movies when I was quite young. Like they love horror movies and they're like, we're not gonna stop watching them because we have a kid now. Like she's just gonna have to get used to it. And I did. Like I love them and just every horror movie that came out, I was there watching it. And my love for it has just grown over the years. And I have a very refined taste now. There's a lot of like horror movies out there. I'm like, that's so dumb. And they get like rave reviews. And then the ones I actually do like, they get like poor reviews. So that's where my journey started with horror, at least growing up.
I love that your parents were into it and they were just like, "Oh, let's just like fold this kid into
Yeah.
this." Love
Yeah.
that.
And they were like huge fans of Halloween. Like I have a Halloween party every single year, and they used to have a Halloween party every single year. So it was a huge thing in my family to just be like spooky, crazy people. Like Adam's family was the blueprint.
Yes, I can totally see that in everything you do. Like you really do live that spooky lifestyle. And I've of course seen photos of your Halloween party and it's like people, if you can like somehow get an invite to this party, like they're just so beautiful and gorgeous. And I love how you've been able to marry your affinity for spookiness, horror, and gothness into your passion for gardening. So I would
Mhm.
also love to hear, where does your passion from gardening come from?
Ironically, so it actually came from my mother.
Mm.
That now we're talking about mother. But yeah, so my mom was an avid gardener, still is. And similar to like horror movies, she got me in the garden. It wasn't like forced labor or anything like that. I wanted to get my hands dirty, like I'm a kid. I want to just make mud pies and mess around. But yeah, like she taught me everything I know. She is a very colorful person, so her garden was full of color, but I liked it despite me having, wanting darkness even as a child. It was a hobby that was very calming, especially during a time where like I experienced like a lot of childhood trauma and like the Catholic school system and like we had a lot of deaths when I was quite young in the family.
Mm.
So gardening was really like that little safe space. It was like truly like just grounding yourself and just immersing yourself into something that isn't just like life. You're creating life with your hands, um, and just like melting into it. It's yeah, it's kind of like a special hobby to me, and she really got me into that.
I love your interpretation or experience of it as creating life with your hands, and perhaps that informs maybe how you experienced this movie, Mother, because I think it's really easy to watch this movie and see it as a straight up portrayal, maybe of the perils of biological human motherhood. But I would
Hmm.
love to hear, how do you see this movie? What is it talking about?
Yeah. So there's a lot of religious themes in this movie. So like the first one is like, this couple comes to the house and the guy who's like throwing up into the sink, you see he's missing a rib, which kind of represents Adam. And then the wife that he brings along with him, she's kind of Eve. She goes into the poet's room and breaks that crystal, even though she was told not to. She does it anyways. And then from there, it carries on into like this huge disaster and like things that just happen. Their sons come in, they like kill each other, which is like Cain and Abel. And like through their grieving, it brings in this literal flood and it just starts to destroy the house. And then that's when you kind of see the tone of Mother Nature. So as more and more people come into the house, the more chaotic it gets. And basically what the house represents is Mother Nature's creation. And you see people literally destroying the crap out of this house. Like they're entitled to it. They don't care what she says. This is theirs. They're going to do what they want. And then as this kind of chaos is happening, you see like a very small group of people trying to like fix what these people are doing. Like there was one scene, I maybe I'm misremembering, but they broke a sink and they're like, crap, like I'll fix it, I'll fix it. Or you see like people painting because they're trying to fix what these
Yeah.
other people are doing.
Mm.
And it's just not helping. And that's where you kind of feel that like helplessness along with a mother. I don't think she even has a name. Her name is just her. Um, and you just feel like this chaos, like there's nothing you can do no matter what she tries to say or do. You can't do anything about it. And then she just like, you know what? As soon as she had her baby, her beautiful creation, and they cannibalized it and destroyed it, she's like, I'm burning this house down, and I'm taking you all with me. And then that cycle basically continues. She dies, and then he starts a new life. He, as in, I guess, God. He takes that heart and puts it into another thing, and the cycle kind of continues. So that's really how I interpreted the film. There's like so many other layers to it too, I'm sure, and like interpretations, but yeah, that's how I kind of saw it.
When I was doing research for this episode, I read about the depictions of different religious themes, which
Mhm.
for me, when watching the movie, went totally over my head
Oh,
because
same. Yeah.
I tried to go to church once and I burnt up. But Yeah, like your observations about the depiction of like Adam and the rib and the flood and leading into it's really that entitlement piece about Mother Nature. And I remember feeling so mad watching
Hmm.
this movie. All these people are coming into this house. It's her home, which sort of felt like a extension of her or a continuation of her body. um Men come in and they're leering at her, and that entitlement piece, people were so entitled to the home to do whatever they wanted. I just remember it made me feel really mad.
Yeah. And like helpless. Like this is the thing. Like I wouldn't even consider this like a horror movie like The Conjuring or something like that. This is like something that emotionally affected me so much because I felt like I was in there right with her. And like I don't know if it was like the camera angles, like everything's very up close to her face. And you're like, you feel like you're in that situation with her. You're like, oh my God, get me out of here. Like, what the hell?
Mhm. Yeah, and like the complete ignoring, like as you said, of Mother Nature's limits or her capacities or any sort of boundaries of it's too much. And now yourself being a gardener, I'm curious, has gardening made you appreciate nature's cycles and that give and take relationship more?
And like this is like so accurate for what's happening right now. Like the fires in Canada and how dry everything is. It truly feels like Mother Nature is going to burn it all down to the ground right now. And like we have a watering ban, so like my garden is suffering. Like I'm sneakily spraying down my flowers real quick, even though I'm not supposed to, but I'm just like, please, like don't die. Like I spend two to three
Wow.
thousand dollars every year on my garden just to
Wow.
like prep it and add to it. So I kind of feel that way with my garden right now, just because of how hot it is. Like I feel like an old person. I'm like, we need rain. We need rain so bad. And like I feel that theme so much right now. I'm like, she's gonna burn any second. I know it.
You bring up the wildfires that we're experiencing now in Canada, and it really impacts the air quality. And you have these watering bans, and that scene at the end where mother just, her child is cannibalized and like she just
Mm.
loses it and goes ballistic. It sort of feels like that's Mother Nature emitting a wildfire. That's a hurricane. That's a flood. That's a natural disaster where Mother Nature is just finally like, Listen, you've pushed me to the limit and I can't give you any more."
I've always said this. I'm like, Mother Nature will always take back what's hers. It's
Yes.
like if you build, we have houses in Carleton Place that are built on little swamps and they're having mold issues because the swamp is coming back in, kind of thing. You know, like she's always going to take back what it is. We
Yes.
keep pushing the limits, but at the end of the day, she's like, that's mine. And rightfully so.
Yes. Yes, and even her mood throughout the movie, like I felt like when you first see Jennifer Lawrence's character, Mother, when she first wakes up, she was almost like too beautiful. Her
Mhm.
skin was glowing. She looked so fresh. She had this long, beautiful cascading hair, and it was kind of like I don't look like that when I wake up in
Yeah,
the
I know.
morning. And, obviously Javier Bardem is a very beautiful man, but he's so much older than her. And it felt like a very stark difference, like this freshness, almost like the morning dew compared to like the harsh realities of the world. And she's very polite in the beginning. She tries to be accommodating when all these random people are coming in her house. And I find throughout the movie, her tolerance for that wanes until she just completely loses it.
Exactly, yeah. And like the frustration you feel too when you see him just letting it happen. It's like, why aren't you listening? Like if at surface level, you're like, okay, it's a husband and wife. That's what the story is about. You're kind of like, why isn't this husband listening to his freaking wife? Like, why isn't he respecting her house too? Like, this isn't just his, it's hers. And she's the one trying to fix everything. She's waking up and being like happy to help, but then people are just pushing the limits and it's really unfair.
Yeah, it's so frustrating even after she has her baby and she's been through hell with him, and of course she's very hesitant to even let him hold the baby because she doesn't trust him anymore. And he has this really nasty, mean way he looks at her. And it even just made me think about their marriage as like maybe a metaphor for like a landlord or a landowner who doesn't care, you know, how many people are abusing the land or exploiting the land. It's like he's making money, like he's getting something out of this, so he's just gonna keep pushing it as far as
Mhm.
he can.
Yeah, that's exactly my view of it too. It's like it's just this guy is greedy and he's gonna give it what the people want, and that's more.
Yeah. So in your work as a gardener, obviously you have that appreciation of like how nature works and its cycles. And I'm curious how that maybe reflects internally sort of in your psyche as a gardener, as a non-gardener, except for my little patio garden. I would assume that maybe you feel happier or more joyous in the warmer gardening months because your garden is flourishing and it's sort of mirroring that inside of you, and that maybe the winter months when the garden is hibernating might be harder for you mentally. But yeah, what is your experience with your mental health through the gardening seasons?
Yeah. So, like, we live in Ontario, so our winters are long and they're disgusting. And
Mhm.
it's like, oh my God, like, please. Like, for example, this year we had so much snow, like, I couldn't start gardening until pretty much June, which is quite late. So admittedly, like during the winter months, I'm on the edge of my seat. But at the same time, I'm also trying to find ways to keep me occupied and happy. So, I can't just be depressed throughout these like 6 months of winter and rain and grossness. So I always try to like plan something. So I plan a new garden. Like I planned a whole new front garden. So I was photoshopping it just to see what it would look like, these different shapes and what I could possibly add to it. I'm also doing shopping during the winter months too. So for like spring, summer bulbs, you'd buy them in the winter and then they ship them when they're ready to be planted in the spring or summer. So that kind of gives me something to look forward to in the winter. And then when spring, summer hits, I'm like grasping on to this pure joy that I have because it is constant shopping. And maybe this is a shopping addiction. I don't know. But any plant I see, I'm like, I need to have it. I'm going to add to it. And then it's like the joy of watching it grow and get bigger and seeing the bees and butterflies just soak it up. But then when it comes to the end of the season, that kind of cycle starts again. I'm like, it's going to be a really long winter of me kind of not doing anything. Um, but I very much see like gardening is like life and death. So it's like you grow this life, but then at the same time, things always have to come to an end. But knowing that there's going to be more to come in the later years, that's the joy of literally life and death of a garden and the life and death of a human too, or a pet. It's that kind of special moment that you can see and help grow to become this beautiful thing and know that you gave it a great life and you can be proud of it and you can have photos of it and share it online. It's for other people to enjoy.
That life and death piece, does the goth aspect of your personality or your garden, does that help you to tap into that a bit as well?
It does for sure. And maybe this is because I had like a lot of death growing up in my family. Like, I wouldn't say like I'm dead to it, but I can have an appreciation for it if that's, I don't know if that's odd. It's probably odd. But knowing that like things happen and it will come back. It will come back in a plant, it'll come back in a butterfly, it'll come back in a bird, it'll come back in a person. It's gonna have that whole cycle. And it's kind of like a garden too. Like it will come back. It'll be okay.
Yeah, I so appreciate that about you, that like tending to your garden and having this sort of memento mori outlook. It seems to really, yeah, mirror your own internal landscape and how you move through the year because I think so often as people, we don't consider ourselves as part of nature, and we just think that we should be able to go at 100% all year long, productivity at 100, and we don't really mirror nature cycles in ourselves, like cycles of life and death or hibernation and slowing down versus, being more out there in the summer. And it sounds like having a garden and being in touch with nature has really helped you to reflect on that.
Totally, yeah. And I mentioned this earlier, like it's very grounding too. So if there's like something rough happening at work, I know the garden's going to be right there for me to weed after for a couple of hours at night. Like it's very nice. Like it's a special hobby, I would say.
Yeah, it sounds like a real relationship.
Definitely, yeah.
And it's sort of like, at a certain point, like that relationship has to hibernate or needs a pause, and then I'll come back to it later. It'll be waiting there
Mhm.
for me.
Exactly, yeah. And yeah, it really does teach you to slow down because during these months I am very go, go, go. At the same time doing my regular work day and personal life, and I'm like trying to cram the gardening because we don't have much time. So the winter is a nice like, okay, relax a little, get
hmm
creative, plan, relax. It's gonna be good.
It's very like Four of Swords energy, like a sacred pause. Like
hmm
just take a break. We can't keep going.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah. And I'm the kind of person too that loves to just pack my day. Like I need a little bit of stress in order to be or feel productive. So it's good that I have these moments to just chill out.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you have that too, because I know, you got a 9 to 5, you got a graphic design business, you have a
Mhm.
garden, you're like an incredibly talented interior designer, like you just have so much on the go. So I'm glad you have these moments of at least, okay, we pause on the garden for now.
Yeah. It's like, hey, Jason, it's time for a reno. Like,
Exactly, that ramps I would
up.
love to hear your thoughts about this really pivotal scene in Mother, and that's the home invasion scene. It's really intense, talk about like 100 out of 100. I would love to hear you, describe that scene and what you see as going on, and if it feels like to me that scene really feels like it encapsulates the our destruction of Mother Nature and climate change. But I would love to hear you describe this scene.
Yeah, so this scene probably freaked me out the most. This is when I felt the most anxiety watching the whole movie because it's very up close. It's very personal. You feel like you're with her in that moment. And yeah, I interpret it the exact same. It is just the pure destruction of her house, which is the world, the nature. Like it's everything that she's worked and created for is completely being taken advantage of and just being destroyed. Like that's simply how I see it is people do not care. But at the same time, there's a very small amount of people that do because you can see them trying to paint and like trying to make it better, but it's not really helping. And they're
Mhm.
trying to make a difference, but it's like you need more people to do it versus the people who are just like don't care.
Yeah, I love that observation. I don't think I necessarily clued into what the house painting or, yeah, the people trying to help, repair small things in the house meant. But I really appreciate your perspective on that these are the people who are like, wait a second, we can't just take, take, take. That's such a theme in the movie. Michelle Pfeiffer's character says that to Mother, her experience as a mother. Oh, your kids, they just take, 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 and that's very much what we do to nature. And yeah, the people painting or trying to help, and it's not really doing much amidst this overwhelming destruction. For you, is that sort of a depressing thing to notice, or how do you kind of internalize that feeling?
I wouldn't say it's depressing. I just think that's the truth. Like there are so many people who are trying like in real life to better the environment. And then you have like big corporations coming in and or like celebrities like taking a jet to go to the grocery store type thing, like
Mhm.
it's like it's like why? Like we're trying to do our best and then it's just overruled by everything. And I wouldn't say it's depressing, it's just frustrating. It's like we're trying really hard and then in the end it kind of doesn't matter. But we'll continue trying. We're not going to give up. That's for sure.
Yeah.
We're never going to give up. We'll do our best to make it work, but you need more people to do it.
I think Mother herself, the character, is a real example of never giving up. There's so much destruction happening in her house. People are looting, people are setting things on fire. There's like a SWAT team, there's a war zone. Like it's truly so chaotic and overwhelming, but she perseveres. Like she doesn't give up. She tries to protect herself as best she can. She tries to find a way. And I think you're so right about that is reality. And if we don't have that desire to just keep going and live in alignment with our values, it's sort of like, what else do we have?
Exactly. Like because even when she dies in quotations and he takes the heart from her chest, it is like regrown into another her. And that's when the loop of the movie, like it's like the beginning of the movie, it's also happening at the end. So it's like this continuous loop of things happening. And yeah, like that's the best way to represent what's currently happening in our world right now.
Yeah, that the taking of the heart and I don't know if it's like a crystal or a diamond being forged through, incredible stress and chaos, but I sort of felt two ways about that. On the one hand, it's sort of like, oh, like nature perseveres, like the
Hmm.
cycle continues, like nature will find a way. And also when you see it's, a new woman waking up looking all beautiful and fresh, I was just sort of like, God damn happy, hey, like
I know. You're like, oh, it's because you know it's gonna happen again. Like she's gonna experience the exact same thing. Like, ah, it sucks.
it does
Yeah.
suck. Yeah, and as a non-gardener, is there a way to abuse a garden? There's so much, environmental abuse portrayed in this movie, but your own little square of Mother Nature, the environment, can you abuse a garden?
Oh, 100%. You can
Hmm.
plant something, but you also have to put the work in. Like you can't just let it sit and think it's just going to grow, especially when you're putting in a new plant. It needs water, it needs to be fertilized, it needs the proper lighting conditions. So if you're planting a full shade plant in full sun, that's obviously going to kill it. Like it's not going to survive. And that's something I kind of learned throughout my own garden. It's different when you're gardening with your mom. When you have your own garden, you're kind of like testing limitations. And I've gotten to a point now where I'm like, okay, I know I have to water daily, lower now that like there's a fire ban and like water supply is low. Um and sometimes you just have to let it go. Like it is what it is. But yeah, like I've had people like reach out to me online and it's so funny because they'll be like, yeah, I planted a new hydrangea. I haven't been watering it. Why is it dead? And it's like, well, maybe you should try watering it and maybe it will come back. It's probably dead for now, but if you want to try again, definitely water it. Like, so
Hmm.
yeah, you can definitely abuse a garden if you just don't take care of it. You have to do the proper care every day to make sure it survives.
Again, that feels like such a relationship, and each plant is different. They all need something different. Some need shade, some need more water than others, or different soil. And that requires such a high level of care and patience that we really don't see represented in a movie like Mother, which is about environmental destruction, which feels like his relationship with his wife, with Mother, Jennifer Lawrence's character, it feels like a blunt object. Like he just, again, it makes me so mad that he just doesn't seem to care about her. He cares about everybody else. He cares about himself and his fame, but he just doesn't care about her.
Yeah, it's frustrating and it's like the same with gardening too. Like I know like some people are getting like they're new to gardening and everyone has to learn, but sometimes people will put blame on me. It's like, well, I bought this plant and I didn't take care of it, so it's a bad
Mm.
plant. And you recommended it to me. I'm like, no, 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 no. You have to learn to take care of it. It's like a little human, basically. Especially houseplants. Houseplants are way more finicky than like an outdoor garden. Like you have to have a lot of care for it.
I would love to hear you describe the the scene at the end of this movie, and maybe we should give like a little content warning here, people, if you're sensitive to child slash baby abuse or violence against women, maybe you want to skip this or not watch this part of the movie. This ending part of the movie, the complete destruction of the house and the child and then mother, it is so intense, it's so violent, but it's sort of, given what she had been through, felt like maybe it had to be. So I would love to hear you describe this scene and what it brought up for you.
Oh God. So mother gives birth to her child and she's very guarded about it. She doesn't want to give it to him because she knows at this point he's just going to give it to anyone. So, she's so exhausted and she's like holding on to her baby that she gave birth to. She's barricaded herself in this room so that nobody can get to it. And then she passes out from exhaustion. She's so tired. She just has to give into the sleep. And then something happens. I forget. It's been a year or so since I watched this movie, but something happens. She wakes up and she realizes they have taken her baby. The barricade's taken down, and she sees him walking down the stairs like, here it is, everyone. And she's like freaking out. She's like, hello, no, like, no, this is my baby. And this is the point where Jennifer Lawrence is like, she broke her vocal cords in this scene, like when she was giving birth. And then this scene too, she's yelling, please give back my baby. And then th- they don't. They basically they carry down this baby to the crowd and there is a very loud snap. And that's when everything just kind of stops for a second. And then when you think it couldn't get worse, they start to cannibalize this baby. And then you're in that moment with her and you're like, "What? Are you serious?" Like it is just like complete shock and just like
Wild.
absolute, like I would absolutely lose it too. So this is like the breaking moment. She's like, I'm burning this place to the ground. Like, screw all of you guys. Like this, you've gone so far over the line now. You've taken my one creation that I was holding on to and trying to protect, and you've absolutely destroyed that.
It's so violent and upsetting, and I remember, despite the abuse and violence she has experienced throughout the movie, I remember like covering my mouth with my hand,
Hmm.
when they kill the baby and they cannibalize it, and then they start beating her up too. It's so scary, and of course she just finally snaps. And even though this scene was so upsetting and so graphic, it almost felt like something, it was inevitable and we were just waiting
Hmm.
for it to happen because they had just pushed her so far.
Yeah, I feel like if they didn't have that scene, the movie wouldn't have the impact that it did. Like it would have just been like, oh, okay, she had a little freak out, but no, like I feel as awful as it is, it was like almost a reality check for everyone in that room and everyone who's watching it. It's like, shoot, like, yeah, no duh. Like, of course she's going to lose it.
Mm. And I noticed that after that, she gets, burnt up, she's dying, and Javier Bardem's character carries her outside. And I noticed at that point, I was like, this is the first time she's been outside her own
Mhm.
house. She was held captive before. She was so controlled by him. I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, I don't know what that actually represents because yeah, it is the first time you've ever seen her outside the house. And that part, I'm just like, why is he bringing her out? Like, is it the final, like, oh, okay, I'm sorry I did this, but I'm letting you go now. Like, it's fine. I don't know if that's what that means, but yeah, like, it is the first time she's ever left the house, despite. all the madness that was going on previously. Like she couldn't leave.
Yeah, like there were moments where she would stand on her own porch and sort of listen to the breeze outside or sort of take in the wind through the trees. And it was this really nice moment of her connecting with nature. But I sort of imagined her throughout this movie as being like a garden that's kept inside a really ugly chain link fence and is not allowed to grow beyond that. And at the end, it almost felt like, yeah, the garden has had died and he was like taking out the trash or something. It was very depressing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like, oh my God. Like I've had a couple of fatalities this week just because of how hot it is. I'm just like taking the petunias out of the pot and putting them in the waste bag. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Mhm.
My bad. Also not my bad though, because it's so freaking hot.
Yeah, your poor garden. With, things like, yeah, we're having the wildfires and you have a watering ban and, this theme of environmental destruction we see in the movie. Do you see gardening changing in terms of adapting to those kind of realities, or how do you adjust to that?
Yeah, like I feel like this is very new for me too, that I'm also trying to navigate because a couple years ago, like I've been gardening in this house at least for 6, 7 years now. And what was happening back then is completely different from what's happening now. Like a couple years ago, it was like a true 4 seasons um, year. So you'd have winter. It'd be like the 4 or 5 months, and then true spring, then summer. It'd be hot, but like nothing was burning up to a crisp. And then as the years are kind of progressing, I'm noticing a lot more really dead heat summers and very, very long winters. There's like rarely any like spring or summer in the mix now. So it's like we're almost like a two-season province almost. So it's new and I'm like trying to find like I'm like maybe I change my purchase habits, maybe I do more hardy perennials versus annuals. Annuals are like ones you repurchase every year, they die in the winter. Um, but they're yeah, like it's new and I'm trying to navigate it as well. And I'm sure a lot of other gardeners too are noticing this. Like dahlias, for example, are super late this year. Like they should have already been blooming, but not many people in my area have dahlias yet. If they do, it's like one flower and you're like, yay! Like, and then that's it. So it's weird. I don't know how to feel about it. I know actually I know how to feel, but I'm upset. But you know, going
Yeah.
forward is a challenge.
It's so wonderful to talk to someone like you who does love gardening and in your spare time, you tend to nature and you listen to nature and you adapt to its cycles. And I think we just need more people like you. We need less people investing in the future of AI, and we need more people investing in the future of nature and our natural world. So I just want to say thank you for being the type of person and being not just when it comes to gardening, but just being like such a creator yourself, right? Like you are so creative in so many ways, and I just appreciate that so much about you.
No, I appreciate that too. I mean, there's still lots of work I have to do personally outside of gardening to like help with the environment, but I do think, planting flowers is as simple as, attracting more bees, because that's one thing that's being impacted through this climate change as well. There's like very beneficial insects that are suffering. So it's like if you can garden, even if you have like a potted garden on your like balcony, like that is helpful. Like it is you're doing something good for Mother Nature.
I'm doing my part with my
You
sad little
are.
garden that I'm like, is this what you want? I hope I hope you want this. I love you. And yeah, like save the bees, people. Not only are they helpful for nature, but they're adorable.
They are adorable. I love seeing like little bees, like just sleeping in foxgloves, which is a very deadly poison, by the way. I feel like you would
Oh.
like foxgloves, but they like
Oh.
sit in these little bells and they're just asleep. And it's like, that's adorable. That is so precious.
Adorable, cute bees sleeping in a deadly flower.
Exactly.
It's
Yeah,
so metal, it's so goth.
it is.
Chloe, as we come to an end here, is there anything else you'd like to share about what mother means to you, its message, or how it reflects upon you as a gardener?
Yeah. I think it's a great movie if you want to be tormented a little bit and just have like a shock to your system. I strongly recommend it. It does help you have a different perspective on how you act as a person in this day to day as well, and what you can do to kind of do your part, no matter how small or large it may be. You could be the person painting the walls. It's something. Um, yeah, and garden, even houseplants, find something that you can bring inside to just bring you that joy. Even if you accidentally kill a begonia, they're fussy, but just try again. You can do it.